What'd you think of your new punter in his first outing?
He did well. He handled the ball well, handled conditions well. He's a professional. He kicked in Buffalo, which is a very tough place to cut your teeth. So we're very pleased with his progression thus far. I think his net was his gross was 44. We end up netting about 40, which we want more. We're working on more, but we're excited about it.
The one that was the lower hang time, maybe in the mid threes, but if you got it, obviously a good bounce and kick forward, I mean, is that okay?
Well, it's okay from the standpoint of they did not get any return yards, so that's always okay, and it was above 40 yards. So yeah, it was fine for that instance, but we don't want to make that a norm by any means.
Amari had a good punt return for you guys. I realize it was late and all that, but what did you see on that one? Was it a good sign? That was actually better than any return you guys had last year.
Yeah, it was. I think the second return was 17 yards. The first return wasn't quite as long, but our drive start would have been better. Obviously, we had the penalty where we had to re-kick. That's never acceptable. But very pleased with Amari on that. We were able to coach up our guys as far as in what we call the transition phase as they're transitioning downfield, things that we can do better to get that return to be even longer.
What's the challenge this week?
Oh, I tell you, it's just like every week. It starts with us, the man in the mirror. You'll hear me say that from now to the end of the season. But their coordinator, Phip, is awesome. When he was at Philly, he's always been in the tops of the league as far as his special teams from top to bottom. He does a really good job in his coverage units. Kickoff in particular, they're going to hang that ball high. They're going to make you function. Jack Fox, when he's punting very well right now, they're doing a good job with their spacing and their distribution and their coverage lanes. And then when you dig into the history of Phip, in the past, he's had some really good returners when he was in Philly, Sproles. So, we always dig into the coordinator's history. Just like last week with Rizzi, we went all the way back to Miami. We do that week in and week out just to try to figure out the DNA of the coordinator we're facing and see how that sprinkles into, his current team and current roles.
Mo, was Kylan dropping that one just a matter of him not keeping his eyes on the ball long enough? Is that as simple as that?
It's not quite as simple as that. Anytime you're dealing with rookie returners, we have to put a special emphasis on, looking the ball all the way in. But not only that, getting a jump on the ball, learning how to read the kicker from his initial alignment. Last week, truth be told, we knew where the ball was going every time. So it's a matter of applying that. It's one thing telling him in the classroom. It's one thing, even doing it on the practice field. But once we hit the game field, we have to apply it. And you're going to get that with rookies sometimes. But I'm very, very confident that he'll be much better, and he's going to be much better.
Well, looking at your own coverage stuff, what did you think you have in Yadam? And obviously he's a guy that did some of that, I think, back in Denver too. What do you think he gives you there?
Well, he has what I call long speed, and long speed is very important. Truth be told, on punt, I'm not necessarily looking for a tackle. If we really do it the right way with the hang time, you get a good release. We just want to force the fair catch, so we net the full punt. So what Yadam gives us is long speed. He has release capability at the bottom or at the snap phase, and that's where he brings value.
So when the opponent you're about to face just has a successful onside kick in that previous game, like from your standpoint with your guys, how much time do you spend on that? Showing them what they did and how they made it work?
Absolutely. We have a certain amount of time each week. I'm not going to tell you how much time, but we have a certain amount of time each week that we designate just for things of that nature, and we practice with those types of situations. So every week we do that. It's really going to be interesting this year with the onside and hands situations. If I'm not mistaken, last season I think the recovery rate was right about 4%. I think the league wants to get it up about between 10 and 12%. That's why they instituted the new rule. So everybody's trying to feel out, what's right, what's not right, things of that nature. But I feel very confident in our plan and how we will attack those situations, really do.
What are the new rules that apply to that?
Yeah, basically what the league did, they took a man who was able to be what we call in the setup zone, and now they placed him outside the 40-yard line if you're kicking from the 35. So it's just one less man in the box, so to speak. Trying to increase a recovery rate for the onside teams.
Anything else in the room, guys? Let's go to Zoom.
All right, we have two in here. Go ahead, Tom Silverstein.
Hey, well, actually I have two questions. One, your kickoff formation to start the game was a little unusual. You didn't get a chance to really look at it because you kicked it out of the end. So is that something week to week that you like to play with to try to, throw something different at people?
I can tell you, tune in Monday night and you'll get your answer.
Did you feel disappointed that you didn't get to see what you got out of it, or you wanted Mason to kick it out of the end zone? I suspect.
We got exactly everything that we wanted.
Okay. The other thing was, I think you had a decent rush up the middle on one of the punts, one of their punts. I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was. Do you want him to put his arm out and try to block that, or are you worried about roughing in that situation?
Well, we do calculated studies on that. If I'm not mistaken, it was 4th and 6 or more. So yes, we want him to run after it, try to get that ball, try to block it, because if you get a running into the kicker penalty, that's only 5 yards. What we stay away from is the roughing calls, which is a larger penalty and would give them a first down in that situation. But we're going to be more aggressive. I think it's known that we're going to be. So teams are going to have to protect against us. We're going to try to get after them a little bit.
Thank you.
Sharon Nagler.
Coach, you were asked earlier about some of the rule changes, et cetera. You've been doing this for a while now. You've been in the league. Do you ever find yourself either drawing up a return or what have you as far as like, okay, I'm going to have this wedge here. Oh, wait, I'm not allowed to do that anymore. Is that frustrating, or is that just, life in the league?
No, it's not frustrating at all. Matter of fact, Coach Renee Stewart and Connor Lewis, they reel me in all the time. I'm like a mad scientist in the lab. I'm always coming up with different things. And they're like, Mo, we probably can't do that. So that's why I really like those guys, because they reel me in and they keep me in a good space. But we're going to press the envelope. We believe in truly understanding and knowing the rules like a pro, so you can break them like an artist.